repressed people within a bigger empire that needed something to stand behind. Needed something. Yes. No, I'm just telling you my view, and from which your other views come from. Because then you come to the point where, okay, let's say you're 1500 years ago when Muhammad came about, and he united the Arab people, united these tribes, and created this huge Islamic empire, destroyed 2 empires while doing it, and created this force
they were trying to destroy them.
But he destroyed them. But then, but as a coherent entity, he came in and destroyed them. Yeah, so that's the point. But how else do you unify a people? How do you unify a people?
No, I understand, but
but then you get to the question. Okay, use Islam. Islam is there.
I'm not even talking about Islam.
No.
I didn't even mention Islam.
Yes, I'm not. I'm just telling you my perspective on where your views come from. So and then you come to the situation where you don't have the science to explain the universe. You don't have a physical, technological way of understanding what the universe is. What do you employ? You employ logic that is inherently grounded to our perception of the world within planet Earth, without understanding what's going out there.
That's fine. You use uniformity, regularity, and certain things to do science.
Necessity.
My friend,
friend, necessity.
No, that's fine. But you've given me a kind of a history lesson / moral. I'm not even talking about that. Yeah. I know this pen. Do you wake up and this pen explodes? Have you ever seen
No,
because it's this uniformity and this regularity, yes?
Okay.
So we know we can do science. If that didn't happen, we could never do science. That's when we look at quantum mechanics and we talk about the double slit experiment. Yeah, there are things that happen in which we're like, whoa, that doesn't make sense to us. So we use our rationality, irregularity, uniformity to do science. Mm-hmm. I'm giving you guys an argument.
Yeah. That's inherently moral.
No. Look, I'm not using a moral argument.
Yes,
it can be inherently moral, but I'm saying that very simply, I've made an argument. You guys haven't given me anything to disprove it. I just want to come and say to me, you know what, Ali? The universe is necessary and independent because of A, B, and C.
Ali, I don't know where we're. What's the ultimate issue here? You're saying that the universe needs something.
A necessary being that gave rise to it. Then I can come and talk to you about its attributes.
And you're defining a necessary being as something that isn't composed of parts.
But pieces.
Again.
And cannot be any other way.
Yes.
And is independent.
Independent, self-sufficient.
Self-sufficient.
No, I get that. But
I'm saying that under your terms and your definition and the definitional structure that we're using to construct the arguments on, under the definitions that we have agreed, you are accurate in your assertion that the universe is composed of parts.
Yes.
But what Alexi is ultimately saying is that this argument is archaic and does not reflect the reality that the universe is not necessarily necessary.
No, because necessity. This is my point.
Why did you say it is necessary by saying
no, this is my point. Necessity is a construction.
The universe isn't contingent. Doesn't necessarily have to be contingent on something else.
No, it has
like
to.
God.
That's why I gave you my evidence.
I'm saying under your definition, yes, that's true.
So you accept it?
I'm saying under the definition that we have agreed upon.
No, This is not
the ultimate point. Because yes, the universe is composed of certain attributes. This is true. So it immediately prevents it from being a necessary being. If we're going to disagree, then we have to disagree on the definition. But I'm saying that this definition is ultimately irrelevant because the universe could conceivably have been caused from nothing, and it could, but not cause. I'm not talking about causation. Yes,
from nothing.
Where does the idea of necessity come from?
Because as I just demonstrated with this bottle, you need time and space in which you need stuff to occur.
Did you say that the universe can be composed from nothing?
I'm not composed of nothing. I'm saying that I simply.
No, you said it can be.
I'm saying under the logical framework.
That's illogical.
I'm saying under our logical framework that we use to comprehend our perceptions of the natural world. Then it seems inconceivable that something can come out of nothing.
Exactly.
But this is still, it's not an impossibility. You listed the three different things, but this is not an impossibility. Because outside of our logical framework, outside of the universe, it could be conceivable.
No, it cannot be. What are you talking about?
The process by which chemical reactions take place could be totally different.
No, Ali.
That's fine.
I think this is more likely than positing a deity, and this is where we ultimately disagree on the probability now.
What I'm saying
on
is
the
this,
matter of
Look,
probability.
listen to me carefully, yeah? I use the argument from contingency. Till now, you guys have not touched upon number one. Now you are asserting that, look at this. Can it be God? No way. Can it be nothing? Maybe. That is preposterous.
No.
Let me finish. I listen to you. Let me finish. What is nothing? The absence of something. If I go to my maths teacher and say 0 can equal 1, he'll give me a backhand and make me fly back to the class into the classroom.
Of course.
You are now asserting the most preposterous position, which is it can come from nothing. Can it be God? No way. Can it be nothing?
Maybe he has some support from scholarship.
Exactly.
No.
If scholar supports that
Well,
you can get nothing.
I'd simply ask you the same question about the necessary being.
I did.
You're positing. Where did that come from?
Okay,
as
good.
well?
Good. Okay, let's stop now. First, what did we do? We agreed that you ascribe the necessary being to the universe. We showed you guys that the universe is composed by pieces, can be any other way, so we realized that it's dependent. Then we said, what is it dependent on? A necessary being that is independent, it is not composed by pieces, and it cannot be any other way. Now, that is my argument, and you guys haven't said anything. Now, do you accept that now a necessary being is required
that the universe
for the universe to...
Let me ask you a question first. Wait. No. Because you've not answered my first question that I no. Let me ask you a question that I began this debate with. What is... Okay, no. Your definition of necessity... Your definition of necessity is very carefully crafted according to your interpretation. According to your own interpretation of the world. But if you look at what is necessity, why do humans need something necessary? Where does it really come from?
No, it's not about where it comes from.
Yes, but it does.
I have formulated an argument
that
you guys till now, I think it's been about 15, let me finish. It's been about 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I have not heard.
No, because you're not answering my question.
I have not heard one counter argument towards it.
I can give you one.
You gave me an example about the Islamic history. You said to me about nothing.
I can give you one.
You said something they had to go at you.
No, I do. Because your argument seems to be the universe.
Guys, I'll answer the question again. Please tell me.
Okay.
You guys said the universe is independent.
Yeah.
Good. Then I said the universe cannot be independent because it is composed of pieces and it cannot be any other way.
This is my problem.
1 second, let me finish, guys. Then we acknowledge that the universe is actually dependent, not independent.
But I reject your definition of independence.
Brother, 1 second. Then I said, what is the universe dependent on? And you guys haven't given me an answer.
No, because this is my point.
I'm asking again, what is the universe dependent on?
No, because listen, the point is dependency. Dependency is a moral argument, like I said at the beginning.
What was my definition at the beginning?
Yes, your definition, but I don't agree with that definition. Yes, but that's your definition, Ali. That's your definition, Ali. That's yes.
I think we
No, I'm telling you. I'm asking you a question.
The definition. This is a
no. This is the point.
Due respect. So if it disagrees, I don't care.
No. Ali. My point is necessity. The idea of necessity, I disagree upon that because that is because necessity is inherently a moral trait.
It's irrelevant.
No, it's not irrelevant because
tell me what's wrong with it necessary.
Necessity, it comes out of humanity's. Yes. No. Listen. Let me talk. Necessity comes out of humanity's need to understand itself. It doesn't. This idea that you connect parts and pieces of parts to necessity, that has nothing to do with it. The universe can be any way it can be. The universe is not connected to human logic. It's not connected to necessity. It's not connected. These are two different things. That's my point.
The science not use regularity and uniformity to do studies?
Yes, of course it does.
So now, hold on a second.
Uniformity and regularity have got nothing to do with pieces in the universe.
In order for you to do studies, you need to know that when I use a pen for an experiment, it doesn't bloody explode.
Yes.
There's uniformity and regularity.
Yes, there is.
Otherwise, you can never do science.
But you never know that in a...
No, 1 second. We use our logic and certain laws that are in place to do science. I'm giving you guys a logical argument, and you're here telling me, no, we reject your definition. On what basis? We just do.
No, I didn't say that. No, I said it on a very good basis. On a moral basis, I reject your argument.
Answer my question.
Yeah.
What does the universe depend on?
Nothing. Because the universe, you don't need a dependency.
What I'm really disputing here, can we just clarify a very important point here?
You said the universe doesn't depend on anything, and you are the same person who said the universe is independent.
Yeah. But what is your definition of independent?
Listen to what's your name?
Alexei. What is your definition of independence, my friend?
Listen to me. Yeah, Alexei. If he was Alexis, I would say, Alexis, listen, yeah? Listen to me. You're saying the universe is independent. Now that I prove this independent,
okay,
you're
but
saying,
how...
Please hear me out.
Okay.
Let's listen to learn. Not listen to reply. You said the universe is independent. I proved that it's dependent. Now when I say what's dependent on, you go nothing.
But you didn't prove it was.
Contradict
How did you
yourself.
prove? You proved it was dependent according to your understanding of what dependency
Yes.
is, which I'm telling you is inherently immoral, and it comes out of your religious beliefs.
Is the universe composed of pieces?
That does not define
It
it.
is composed
Yes,
of
it
pieces.
is.
Okay, can it be any other way?
Can
It probably
be?
can.
Yes. of course.
Okay, that's dependent.
How is that dependent though? What's that dependent on? What's
I
it
don't know
dependent
what
on?
else to say.
Yeah, but what is it dependent
I'll
on,
let you
my
guys
friend?
talk. I've done my bit.
Okay, no, exactly. This is good. This is good. You've talked. Now we can talk properly. The idea is dependent on is inherently moral, and it's based in humanity's wanting to understand something that it can't perceive. How do we perceive the universe? You talk about galaxies. You talk. Huh? Yes, but what is necessity?
I can ask you a simple question.
You're saying it's a moral argument.
Ali,
It's nothing to do with
may I
morality.
ask you a simple
But
what is
the thing
necessity?
by this, can we just make this point? By the same standard, so you're saying the universe.
Strobel,
Yes,
you even
exactly.
said it can come from nothing.
And
For God's
and I'm
sake,
saying,
you
but
even
I would
said,
ask you the same question about positing a deity, which you haven't answered yet.
You said to me,
Why is that unreasonable when it comes to a deity? Why the universe?
you even said it can come from nothing.
You're saying that
I've got some.
the necessary deity. You're saying that can come
Look,
from
look, look.
nothing.
Yes, but what is necessity, my friend?
I've given my definitions. I've given my definitions for a contingent thing. I've given my definition for necessary being.
Okay.
You have not answered me still.
This is the point. We want
It's
to
your problem,
avoid
Bob.
it. We
The
want
ball
to
is in
avoid
your
it.
court.
Yes,
Okay,
we
Yes,
want
the ball
to
is in our
avoid-
court.
We want to avoid.
ball-
We want to avoid an infinite.
It is a moral
reign
argument.
of- wait,
Because
the
this is my
rel-
point. Where does
We want
where
to
does
avoid-
Look,
Look, come on.
No.
What's
Can
before
we
we do that?
just make
I want
a
look.
very
I'm giving my
close
final
point,
closing statement. You do it, and we want to move on with the brothers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've answered a simple question. My argument was very simple. Yeah. Okay. There are dependent things within our universe. There is independent things.
Yeah.
Okay. So I said dependency is something that can be any other way, is composed of pieces, and requires something else for its own existence.
Yes.
Then my dear friend said that I said, is the universe dependent or independent? He says independent. Then I said to him, it cannot be independent because it's composed of pieces and it can be any other way. So we acknowledge that it's dependent. And I asked them,
No. That's
I'll
not.
close the statement. You guys can make it.
Okay,
yeah?
okay.
So, and then I said to them, since we agreed it's dependent, what does it depend on? He said, maybe from nothing. He said, it depends on nothing. So my argument is very simple. The atheists are terrified to say
Sorry, we just have to finish
it
this
can
up.
be God. It can be nothing. It can't be blind anything. It can be
He's
infinite,
arguing
but it
for
cannot be
God
God.
here, and I
That's my
think-
closing statement. You guys make a decision.
I've got my
Okay,
closing
okay,
statement.
fantastic,
May
fantastic. May I say,
We
it's
want
a
to
pleasure.
avoid an
It's a
infinite
pleasure debating.
Oh,
It's a
sorry,
pleasure.
sorry,
Yeah,
sorry,
it's a pleasure.
dependency.
Thank you very much.
We're going to carry on.
Yes,
It
yeah.
comes down to it's a matter of probability. On one hand, the universe comes from nothing, but you still haven't asked me where does this necessary deity
Stop. Closing statement. Closing
Yes,
statement.
which I'm about
Okay.
to finish. And I would say this last thing.
You know, that's what Allah says in the Quran. There has to be one God. Otherwise, there'll be chaos.
Okay, well, there's one.
No. Listen. My statement, my response to Ali, is that necessity is it's a moral construction. Because where does the idea of necessity come from? Where do you really when you wake up every day, when you think about God, why do you think about God? Because you believe it's necessary to your own existence. That what Ali's done is now zoomed out and imposed that on the whole universe, and then put his own definition of what dependency is, which I don't agree with. I don't think dependency consists of both. I think dependency is one of the things which you listed, which is the third thing, which is it has to depend upon something, which is what he said. That is the one thing I agree, but this is why I said it's not dependent, it's independent. It's got nothing to do with our understanding of logic, with our understanding of morality, with our understanding of necessity, because we're using our values, we are using our understanding of how to live our lives and imposing that upon a system that's inherently can only be understood through science, through physics, through these subjects which have nothing to do with necessity.
Got to push in.
The Big Bang has nothing to do with necessity.
He was just.
I just make
Let's
a closing statement.
wrap this up and then you guys come.
I believe that the argument that the universe
So you brought out here the whole team is here then, I guess.
comes from the fact.
Well, I was just told to meet my mates, so
well,
I don't know.
this is dependent on something else. Therefore, the entire
philosophy.
universe must be dependent on something else, which is the fallacy of composition.
Are you friends?
It's a fallacious argument,
Yeah,
which
I
I
am.
reject. I must have misunderstood your argument.
No,
Alan's on-
inherently,
cosmological
dependency.
Forgive me, we will have
Okay, guys,
to.
close the statement quickly. Close the statement. You finished?
That was it, yes.
Okay, that's it, guys.
Ali, thank
Thank you
you.
for coming. But my dear friends here, would like to carry on the discussion.
Yes, thank you, Ali. I'll be back
Sorry,
next week.
No, stay. We're gonna have a
No,
discussion.
I mean, we'll be back. We'll be continuing our...
Can you guys?
Yes, sure.
No, both of you.
So you talked about
here.
moral arguments, necessities and moral arguments.
Cameras are here. Sorry.
So are you saying if the human beings were not created or not being in this universe, the existence of a necessary being or not would be a moral question?
Mansur, can you come here?
It's moral.
So morality can exist outside the existence of
No, my
moral
argument
agents.
is that where did your arguments come from humanity?
I don't understand your statement about it's a moral thing.
It is, because necessity is a moral thing.
Imagine life didn't exist in our universe.
Yeah, and it didn't exist in our
Is
world.
it possible at that point there might be some things which are...
Then it's not moral, because then there's no need for a necessity. You see,
it
because necessity is
possible-
created by humans
Is it
to
possible-
understand our world.
Is it possible then, at that point, some things were dependent on something else?
I don't think so. I don't think that has anything to do with it, because I don't think we know enough about the universe to be able to ascribe it certain qualities and to be able to use human logic to understand.
What are we dependent on?
We are not. We're dependent on our Earth. Earth is our dependency, not the universe. Earth, we're lucky. We've been blessed with life. Planet Earth has been blessed with the
so
exact.
To sustain our life, we
Yes.
need air,
Yes,
oxygen,
we do.
Yeah, and
yes,
food.
but
right.
why do we need a God?
Why do?
Yes, but that's your.
The problem is, if you jump towards the conclusion, the moment you discuss with a theist or a Muslim, what you're doing is trying to tick box. Oh, what argument are they going to use? Cosmological, kalam cosmological argument, contingency argument, teleological argument.
But that's inherently what it is, though. Isn't it?
That's what you're doing. But try to understand the argument that is presented
I understand the
rather than
argument.
labeling it.
Trust me, I do understand the argument.
So
This is my response. This is my rebuke.
You believe to make it into forget about morality.
Yeah.
You believe the universe always existed.
Sorry. Yeah.
Give me. I'm going now. Do you want to go?
No, I'll be there soon.
Okay, all right.
Finish this off. Yeah.
So do you believe the universe always existed?
Yeah. I mean, my granddad's a nuclear physicist. He tells me about
Always
the founding.
existed,
Yes.
Meaning
The Big Bang has happened many times, my friend.
Without any beginning, right? Always there.
We're going. It doesn't matter. We're going through a circle. And inherently, this is my point. That why do we need a God?
Why do you bring the God question in?
This is it. This is where we're going. No.
Because if you don't understand the very basic foundations, then you will make an error in understanding what God is.
No. Because I'm telling you.
Look, I am not talking about God. I'm talking about the universe.
Okay, the universe. Okay. So my perspective. Yeah, fair.
So can an atheist? Are you an atheist?
Yeah.
Can an atheist stop talking about God?
Stop what?
Can an atheist stop talking about God?
Stop talking about God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So let's talk about the universe.
Yeah.
This universe, in your understanding, is always there.
Yeah. It's been going and it's going to be.
Fine. So you are not of the position that the universe at one point was absolutely nothing and then something came, because you don't believe that there was nothingness to begin with, right?
Yeah. We expanded into matter that was already there.
Yeah.
The Big Bang Big Bang is expanded into matter
is always there.
Yeah.
Let's understand that something.
Okay.
This something did not begin to exist, did not acquire any properties of existence. So whatever it had it inherently.
Okay. Yes.
So what are the essential qualities of that something, which is the universe, had inherently as qualities and attributes?
But it had matter. It had carbon. It had. What do we find in our universe today?
Matter always existed.
Matter, yes, it's existed in the form, in a matter,
No.
in a way.
You're talking about matter by looking at this universe.
Yes.
So
and the universes before that preceded our one.
You're assuming matter existed.
Well, you're assuming many things, my friend. So that's of course matter. This is my position.
You have to say, I assume matter existed.
Okay, I assume.
I'm fine.
Fine.
So
That's an
what
assumption.
are the essential things or qualities this universe had inherently?
Well, what does it have now? Carbon. What does it have? What like if you went into the universe and you took a hypothetical sample from said universe, from where you were in the universe, you would understand what it was at the beginning. And now actually, 6 months ago, the James Webb Telescope, we're discovering a lot more about how the universe began.
Did it have internal organization?
Internal. That has no relevance.
Inherent organization.
Okay, it could have done.
Did it have laws operating within itself?
We don't know. But the thing is, the issue of that is that where do we understand those laws to be in the human mind? We perceive those laws.
You are postulating a universe that always there.
Yeah.
So this universe which is always there without a beginning of existence.
No, I mean.
So whatever it has inherently.
Yes, it has inherently. Yes.
So.
But not given. Given. You see, that's you making an assumption.
No, I'm saying it's a given fact.
Yes.
It already had it.
Yes.
Because
but my point before to Ali Dawah is that there's no need.
We're not talking about Ali Dawah.
Yes. No. I know.
About God, about this universe.
Yes. I know about this universe, but the idea that
inherent properties that existed.
Yeah.
Was self-awareness one of them? Why do you think so?
Because why should it be?
No, I'm asking you. Why do you think otherwise?
Because self-awareness is a human idea. Yes, self-awareness.
If you're not a human, are you saying some other things cannot be self-aware?
Animals, beings are self-aware.
So it's not
the universe consists of beings.
Don't make it into a human thing. It's not a
okay, but the universe consists of beings. It consists of. We don't know what it consists of. Actually, that's my point. We don't know.
I want to ask you.
Yeah.
The transformation that happened from one point to another point.
Yeah.
Did it happen by accident or by choice?
Accident.
Why do you say
choice?
Accident?
Yeah, but why choice?
No, I'm asking
why do you say choice? I'm asking you now.
Did I ask you? Did I say anything?
But you're assuming that there is choice.
No, I didn't say anything.
Yes, I know you didn't say anything.
I didn't say anything.
But the way you're arguing.
Don't strawman my argument. I didn't say anything.
Yes, I know.
So I asked you. You said it's by accident. I want to know, based on what you say it's accident.
Based on the fact that it was based on a deductive argument, on that it wasn't your other thing that you proposed.
I haven't proposed anything.
Choice. You said, is it based on choice or is it based on this?
No.
So inherently, what you're assuming when you're making that argument is that it is based on choice, and I'm saying it's not choice.
Don't just try to make the position, the argument to be like, what's it called? Shifting the onus of evidence to me, someone else.
But that's what you did.
I'm asking you, on what grounds, on what rational grounds, do you say it's accidents?
I say that it's because it couldn't have happened out of choice. It couldn't have happened.
That's not an argument.
Yes, so I'm telling you, listen.
You're just simply saying the other option I don't agree with.
You cut me off at the beginning.
Go ahead, tell me.
Yeah.
Rational argument.
Rational argument is that the universe, the way we do it, it's clearly it's too intricate. It's too. We don't know enough for us to be able to ascertain. Intricate, complicated. It's expanding. We probably know 0.5%.
By random?
By random.
Determination?
No, by random. Because how does the universe expand?
That's
Why?
Random.
Okay.
It's not random.
Let me ask you a question. Why does the universe expand?
Because it's already within the laws operating within the current universe.
What laws?
Physical laws, natural laws.
Where do those laws come from? Who discerned those laws?
Stop. Alexis or Alexei? Alexei. You said random, and I say it's not random because we have constants within our physical laws.
Yeah.
So that's not randomness.
Yes.
I'm sure you know what randomness is, right?
Yes.
Right.
I do.
Right.
I say random. What I mean by random is that its creation wasn't brought about by anything. It wasn't brought about by any one thing. Yes, but randomness, it comes out of.
You're redefining terms.
Yes, but this is how I perceive it within
our. Your perception. We're speaking the human language, which happens to be English.
Yes.
We need to be
I
consistent with
know.
the meaning of the terms.
I agree.
I agree.
That's an important thing.
So it is not random.
Yeah.
The universe is operating with set specific laws that is operational within it. So let's go back again. What is your rational basis to say things transformed from an eternal universe by accident?
By accident, in the sense that it's not something that it couldn't have been designed. It couldn't have been pre-made. That is it. Because what is the opposite of an accident?
What's the opposite of that?
Yes, but that's what you're driving me down.
What is your rational basis for it?
My rational basis is that it's the opposite of choice. What is your rational basis? No.
Don't deflect the onus.
Yes, I know.
I'm telling you. Me, right? It's a fallacy you're making. So you are in the defense as an atheist to substantiate your particular belief, which is it happened by accident.
Yeah,
so we'd like to know
random.
Accident, I said, or choice, and you said accident.
Yes, because it's not choice. Because you diverted me into this angle.
I gave you two options.
Yes, two options only.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there other options?
Yes.
What other options?
The other option is that it just occurred. It occurred.
When you say it just occurred,
it occurred, but not by accident. It occurred.
When you say it just occurs, what does it even mean?
Yeah, it occurred for reasons that we don't know.
Reasons.
Okay.
So if it happens by a reason, it's not an accident, is it?
Yes. Okay. I understand.
Good.
I understand.
So it either happens by a reason or it just happens.
It just happens.
Now, if you say it just happens,
it just happens. Why do we need to ascribe? Why do we need to ascribe reason?
By reason?
Yes, but why do we need to ascribe reason?
Wait.
Why do we ascribe
Wait,
reason?
You're on the right track now. Reason. So
Why do we ascribe it?
Wait.
Why don't you ask? Oh, you don't answer my question.
Alexis, when you say it's happened by reason, is that reason embedded within that universe?
I can't answer that question because that's a question that we don't
need to
know.
ask that question.
Yes,
Because
that's a question you don't know either, by the way. Like, how do you know that?
See,
It's a question.
Few minutes of discussion.
My point is,
you are committing so much fallacies that you don't know. You tell me what the answer is. No, I am not discussing my position.
No, I know.
I'm
You're
challenging
asking
yours.
me. Yes, but my basis, my reason why I'm not, where I began. You've driven me down this lane. I didn't begin
I'm
here.
not driven it. I've cornered you into that position
You've
to defend
cornered
yourself.
me. Yes, exactly.
Yes,
but this
I'm
is not.
using the right term.
But this
cornered
is.
you in a position
Yes,
to
yes,
defend
yes.
yourself.
But this is not where
This is the new paradigm shift, by the way.
understand,
The atheist needs to be aware of that. If you're
understand.
listening and watching, atheists, we are coming to get you. This is the paradigm shift.
Yes, but
So now,
you've driven me down this way because
I'm saying I did.
my basis of what religion is, of why it needs to exist. What I was saying earlier about morality, about a moral necessity. Humans need a necessary. I don't necessarily listen.
Forget morality.
No, listen.
You are now conflating
No. Listen. You've driven me down this. You said accident or choice. Yeah. Accident or choice. I don't believe it to be neither. I don't believe it to be a choice, but I don't necessarily believe it to be an accident. But that doesn't mean.
Basis of your belief.
Yes, my basis of my belief is I don't know.
That's not
It's Socratic.
basis.
It's a Socratic.
That's your-
Yes, it's
no,
a very
that's your
accurate.
ignorance.
No.
That's simply your ignorance.
My-
Just because
no,
you don't know who.
no,
it's
no,
like
it's
this.
not, it's
I don't
not.
know who murdered it. It means no one murdered it.
No.
Your ignorance is not going to help. So now let me
it's not ignorance.
reframe the question. Could it be otherwise? The way it's transformed.
I don't think so.
So it's determined.
No, it's not determined. But I don't think so because it's
Make up your
happened.
mind. Make up your mind.
Okay.
Could it be otherwise, or could it not be otherwise?
Okay. It could be any way possible.
Yes. So
It
the
could be
way
any
it
way
became
possible.
possible, why that particular way?
Why? Science. Science, my friend. It's a discussion, a
I don't
different
understand
discussion.
what you're talking about.
Why it came out, why the universe came out to be a certain way,
Why that
is purely a
particular
scientific
way?
question.
No.
It's purely a
Whatever
scientific
question it is, you want to frame it, it's a philosophical question or a moral question or a scientific question.
It used to
I'm
be a
asking you, why that way and not the other way?
Why specifically? Because this is what I'm telling you. Like Socrates, when he spoke to the Africans 2,000 years ago, I ascertain to a certain viewpoint because I don't know the reason
Wrong answer.
exactly. I don't know
When
why.
you go to a question and it says, these are the questions, question 1 to 10.
No, but
And if
this
you
is very different, my
wait,
friend.
Wait a moment. I'm going to try to put you right on your right shoes or right box, on the right spot. If you answer a question I don't know, do you get a mark?
Okay, but
wrong answer.
Okay.
Thank
but
you.
When
Now-
you put questions like open-ended questions like yours, do you think on the multiple choice exam that you've now imagined, do you think there'll only be 2 ticks? Choice or
What are the
accident? Do you think?
choices?
What if there's another box? What if there's another box?
Tell me which the other box is.
The other box is the other box. We don't need an understanding.
Now
we
you're
don't need
committing
it.
another problem here.
No,
If you don't
we
know
don't need it.
stuff-
It's not important.
If you have
It's
no
not important.
idea about something, you can't present it as an argument. Exactly. You shouldn't be talking about it.
No, my
Yeah?
friend. This is what I'm telling you. Is
Look,
that we
you're
don't
trying-
need to know.
Look.
We don't need this.
If you believe in a certain scientific
Yes.
paradigm or a philosophical paradigm,
yes.
you should know that if you cannot talk about something in any meaningful way, you should be talking about it at all. Because this is an escape route saying, I don't know what it is, but there is an option.
Exactly.
Yes, but what I'm saying
It's
to you, what I'm saying to you, is that your beliefs are.
I haven't talked about my
No,
beliefs.
I know.
I am grilling an atheist
the wrong
about
person
their
today.
belief and see how they can
Oh,
defend it.
no. All I'm saying is where your views come
And
from.
then I have not expressed my views. This is
Okay,
your
but
views.
you're not like.
So Alexis, let me ask you again. So this universe that exists,
Yes.
it's now transforming into something else because things that are happening, we see transformation.
Yeah. It's growing.
Transformation happens, which is either it happens because a predetermined will makes it to happen. To give you a
Okay,
scenario.
no, this is
Let
good.
me
This is
give
good.
you-
I'm hearing your views.
Let me give you a scenario.
Yeah.
If I don't will to make coffee or tea in my kitchen, I sit there. All the ingredients of tea and coffee are there in my kitchen. There is the fridge inside which is the milk. I have to open to get it out.
Yeah.
There is the sink, I have to unwind the tap to let the water come into the kettle. Put the kettle into the cooker. I have to light the cooker to make fire, flame, heat. Then I have to bring the cups. Then I bring the tea and the coffee. Then I have to mix with milk and sugar, right? If I don't make a choice, if I don't intend, if I don't make a will for this tea to happen, the coffee to be made, would it ever happen?
All I'm saying, this is my point exactly. You're equating human logic, human understandings of how the world works, and you're imposing that on the universe. I'm
not imposing anything.
No, but that's what you're saying.
We are studying the universe because we are human, and we can only use human logic. There's nothing wrong with it.
No.
This is my point. Wrong with it, there should be no science.
This is my point. There's no
science. There should be crumbled
human logic.
Foundation.
Human logic.
Science, in fact, sorry to interrupt. Science has demonstrated that using human logic, we can understand the universe.
No. This is the problem. What Ali was saying earlier. His logic, his contingency argument.
What's that on your? What is this? It's a mic.
Yes. Wait, let me finish.
Wait. This is a mic.
Yeah.
How did we make that mic and operational?
We produced it within the country, or produced it wherever.
Did we use human logic to understand what is
this is different.
Wave?
Yes.
What is audio?
There are two different forms of logic that I want to. What the logic we were speaking about? Of course, human logic. Of course, that's very valid. The logic that Ali Dawah was. Yes. But you're also doing.
What am I doing?
Is that logic? Automatically, you're assuming that how our world functions, the idea of a will, the idea of contingency, the idea that have been constructed within our world and that we understand. You're inherently imposing that upon something else.
No.
Yes, because that's your assumption.
I'm using human logic to understand the reality around me.
Yes.
So when I use human logic, I do understand, and that's why now we can go up to space and put satellites in there. Because human logic does work.
Okay, but
understanding the
let me give you an example. If I jump up, I'm going to jump back down again.
Yeah.
That's because of gravity, right?
Really?
Yeah.
No. It's because of green flying monsters.
No. Okay. I'm just saying. This is my point.
No. I'm telling you, it's because of invisible green flying monsters.
Okay. Because of science.
I'm going to stop you there. I apologize for stopping you there.
No, let me finish my argument. Let me finish
I cannot let you finish. You say gravity. What is gravity? Can you see it? Can you feel it? Can you touch it? Can you smell it? Can you sense it?
What, so you reject gravity?
Wait. Now I'm going to ask you and challenge you with this question. You say it's gravity. Out of your 5 senses, which one did you use to say it's gravity?
I'm saying this is not. Let me tell you my point. Let me tell you my point. No. Let me tell you my point. I'm not finished. Listen, okay, this is my point about your use of logic and applying it to the universe, right? The point is, if I jump up, I'm going to come down. It doesn't matter where gravity comes from. That's not my point.
So where coming from?
No.
What you're describing too is my question. Because if you could understand that example, you would understand that there is a God behind this universe.
No, listen. This is my point.
Okay.
When I jump up, I go down. When I go to space and I jump, I don't go down. I float. Because there are different forces working in the universe.
Forces?
Yes, listen. There are different. There's different science in the universe than there is on Earth. And this is exactly the point I've always been making, is that you can't employ logic and religious logic on
religious
Earth.
Logic?
No, just logic in general. Logic to understand the universe that's inherently grounded in the human experience.
What is science based on?
Science.
What are the foundations of science?
Science is based on our world. Science is our world. It's a way of
the science operates within a paradigm.
Yes.
What are those foundational axioms of science that we can understand the world? Because science is what? The knowledge about the world. Science is a mechanism to understand the world, the reality.
My point is,
what are the foundational axioms of science?
You tell me. Tell me, please enlighten me.
You are saying science and logic.
But listen,
I am not going to spoon
okay,
you.
No, listen, I'm just trying to make a point to you. I'm trying to make a point to you. Listen.
What is science?
Stop, I'm trying to tell you something. When I'm in space and I jump, I don't fall back down, do I?
Observation.
Yeah.
So you observe.
Yes.
So are you saying
science, wait. So how can you sit here and assert that the universe operates in a certain way when all of your physical understanding of the universe is grounded within the human experience? All of this logic, all of this idea about pens and stuff.
Science, my friend, Alexis, if you didn't know, is based on this. You observe something specific.
Scientific method are you also asking me about?
Of course.
Okay, then what?
Do you believe in the scientific method?
Yes, of course.
Right.
I thought you were talking
so have you observed this kind of jumping about in every point of this Earth and this universe?
What? So, okay, I'm saying on Earth right now.
Have you observed on every point of the Earth?
I make an assumption based on a lot of experience. and a lot of understanding of how the world works.
Have you observed on every single point of the Earth?
I mean, I've observed
on every
enough.
single point of the Earth.
Okay, so you're telling me there's a part of Earth where I jump up and I go up. Yeah? I don't go down.
Have you?
I haven't.
You haven't.
Yes. Okay.
So now, if somebody says, it doesn't matter wherever you go on the Earth, if you jump, you're going to come down again. Is that reasonable?
No.
It's not reasonable.
It's not reasonable.
What does science say?
Science says.
Science say?
Yes. What you're misconstruing what science is.
I'm not misconstruing.
You're misconstruing completely.
You on
you're
scientific
not.
methodology.
Yeah, no, you're not actually. You're misconstruing it because science is based on logical assumptions made from evidence. Evidence is that gravity is a force that pulls us down
to
Earth.
What are the foundations of the scientific method again?
Observation. Collecting samples, like sampling, and then making conclusions based on said experiment.
Is the very first fundamental out of all of this is the world is rational or irrational?
The world.
To science to operate.
What is rationality?
Do you assume?
What is rationality?
Wait a second. You talked about some of the philosophers. Now let's see whether they can help you. If science did not assume axiomatically that the world is rational, would you be able to understand the world? So science assumes the world is rational.
Science has made so many mistakes.
Yes, but rationality.
So you accept scientific
you see,
methodology
you're connecting two different things.
Is rooted in this very foundation that the world is rational, and we as rational human beings are able to understand it rationally.
Yeah.
So don't then say
my point
you are a human being using human logic to understand the world because you're being unscientific.
No, okay, but my point was, you completely my point was that, logic, where we derive our understanding of logic is from experience. It's from experience, like day to day, like the different examples that you make.
Not true.
Okay, not true. Fine,
not
whatever.
True. Let me tell you why.
Okay, but let me finish. Let me finish for once. Let me talk.
Go ahead, Alexis.
Let me finish.
Then I'll tell you why.
Okay. Where we understand logic to be a certain thing. We understand it to be whatever it is. We understand it. We as collectively as humans, we come to certain unified definitions about what logic is. But how can we then assume that we use our logic? We use our logic needing for contingency, needing for explanations, needing for these. How can we can zoom out and then do it on our whole world? Because our world, I'm saying we don't know how we don't know how the universe operates. So there is no reason to misconstrue our understandings of logic and place that on the universe, because those two things are not connected.
Was it logical to say there's a cyclical universe or multiverse, or is it based on evidence?
No, it's not. I mean,
what's it based on?
It's based on assumptions.
Assumption is based on what?
Assumption is based on evidence.
What evidence do we have of a multiverse?
No, I mean the multiverse, not specifically. No, I'm not saying there is a multiverse.
What evidence do you have there was another universe before this universe?
No, I do scientifically. My grandfather. He's a big scientist.
Does your grandfather have evidence there was another universe before this one?
Yeah, he does. I mean, he showed, he talked to me. This is his. My theories about the universe. My theories about.
Are you a physicist?
I argue.
Are you a physicist?
No.
Cosmologist?
No.
Do you have a PhD or undergraduate degree in any of those subjects?
No.
Expertise? No. So it's not about your assumption, your theories that don't count because you're not a specialist.
Okay, do you have a PhD?
Your grandfather is. Okay. No, your grandfather is.
Yeah, he is.
Has your grandfather published works that I can read and assess and critically evaluate that there is an evidence for a universe before this universe?
I can send you them, yeah? I could type his name in for you if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah?
Let me write it down.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No problem. This is where, yeah. Type this guy in.
Did he win a Nobel Prize yet?
Oh, he hasn't, sadly. But he's doing great things. He's doing great things. I respect him a lot.
No problem.
Yes. So, I mean, this is what I mean.
I can look it up. So now, coming back to the question of logic.
Yeah.
If logic wasn't used to understand our reality, then science would have been crumbled from the very start.
No, I get that. I understand where you're arguing from.
So we can use logic.
Yes.
So when it comes to understanding the very beginning of the universe,
don't
just stop and say we can't use logic. Right?
I agree with that. So I agree. I agree that logic does play a role.
Now let's come back to my example of tea and coffee, right? Shall we? Would it ever make tea and coffee if I just sit there and wait for tea to happen?
No.
Why not?
Because you need to put things into motion.
So to make transformation of existing things,
yes.
like the universe has things within it. You said matter.
Yeah.
So to make transformation, you need some kind of intent of transformation.
You need a mover. I get what you're trying to. Yeah.
Right. So Even to make tea and coffee, you need a willing agent.
Yeah, yes, I completely agree.
So I want to know, on what rational basis do you then, looking at this, understanding it logically and rationally, and accepting it, the universe in its pre-current state, in its eternal state of transformation, it just happened without
I know.
Without any
willing mover. Yeah. My response to you is that I don't think that the universe necessarily needs a willing mover.
I don't need necessarily a mover to make it a cup of tea.
But you need to do it though, don't you? Yes. Okay.
I'm using the same argument. Be consistent.
Yes, the same argument, but this is two different things.
Thank you. Why is it different? We want to transform something. You either need a willing mover or you don't. So if you can say a cup of tea can happen without a willing mover, then you're being consistent.
No, I know. But this is what I mean.
To be consistent.
This is what I mean. Yes. But this is what I mean. Like, we have a willing mover on Earth. On Earth, as you make that tea, you go to the kettle, you boil the water, and then you put the tea bag in, and you've made your tea. You've got your tea there. But what I'm saying is that when we zoom out and when we actually try and think about what began our own universe, I don't think the same laws apply, because I think inherently on Earth, certain things occur the way they do. But I think that's because Earth is special. I think Earth is unique in our world.
So I can't make a cup of tea on Mars?
No. I mean, you can, like, within, if you stand on Mars, you stand on Mars with nothing.
I want to eliminate these variables. One of the variables you introduce is the Earth. Let's say if I go to Mars, and I have a kitchen there, and I sit there, would the tea still happen, or a coffee?
You'd probably be dead. Like, if you have to use
look,
you have to use Earth. You have to use Earth-like things.
I don't need Earth.
Yes, but you need.
I am going to have a spaceship there.
What do you need?
On Mars.
Spaceship. Where did the spaceship come from? Where was it built?
So?
Where was it built? Where it came from Earth, didn't it?
So what?
Yes, but that means you can't just go to Mars. Let's say Mars has got nothing on it. You come with no spacesuit, with nothing that's come from Earth, that's allowed you to live on Mars, and come and make it. Yeah. Okay, fine. But this is you're complicating the thing now. But yes. But I'm saying that when you go to Mars, let's say you go to Mars with nothing. You stand on Mars, you'd already be dead before you make the cup of coffee or the cup of tea.
So you see, look, if you're going to be consistent, you should say that to make a cup of tea in this kind of organizational transformation, you need a willing mover.
Yes.
And you need to be consistent with that. Like gravity, scientists would say, gravity exists in all parts of our Earth, even though we haven't measured everything.
Yeah.
So science, as you haven't realized already, is based on generalization.
It's based on generalization. I agree.
Right?
And we draw conclusions.
Likewise, when we use the scientific method in understanding the reality, I haven't used anything different from the scientific method.
No, I know.
I'm saying the universe.
Yes.
Transformation. You need a willing mover. So I have not committed any logical fallacy.
No, I agree.
I'm being consistent.
I agree.
You need to provide a rational alternative.
I'm saying
if you believe that it can happen by itself.
I'm saying that the need to find out. This goes back to very much what I'm saying at the beginning. The need to find out. Like why do you need? Honest question. Why do you need to believe that something began something?
I don't need to believe anything.
No, but why do you believe that? Why do you believe that? Surely not because you want to make a cup of tea in the morning.
To give you answer this question, it's not that I need to believe in something.
Yes.
If a tree existed there, independent of my believing it exists or not there, it will exist in reality.
Yeah.
So my belief is irrelevant.
Yes.
But more importantly, he believes it himself.
Yeah. It's irrelevant whether I believe it or not.
No, I know.
So if I think, that tree doesn't exist, I may be wrong, I may be right, but independent of my belief system, it can exist if it existed.
Yeah.
Likewise, if there is a reality in which there is a willing mover of transformation, it doesn't matter whether I need to believe in it or not.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, we need to affirm that's the case. It's a case of affirmation.
I get that.
Now, is it irrational to affirm that you need a willing mover?
It's not irrational. It's not irrational.
Right. So my stance now, even though I haven't expressed it, is a rational position. What's your rational position?
My rational position is that you do not need to find that.
We
you don't. No. But listen. No. My thing is that, like, the universe. There's the idea of a willing mover, the idea of something that's pushing, the idea that something begins somewhere. It comes out of humanity. It comes out of humanity's own attempt to understand itself. No. Yes, it does.
Why do you disagree? See, the problem, you made some really strange statements when I was listening to this exchange. Okay? So you seem to do away with logic. You said that there's human logic.
There's two facets of logic.
And you can't use human experience or logic to come up with any. Then that puts to bed science, the scientific method, even the conversation you're having, even how your vape is working. All of this goes out the window with this.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Now,
I get that.
The only argument you seem to be making at the end, because you admitted that for things to happen, there needs to be a willing movement.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No. He said that. I'm saying that my very point.
For the tea to be made in the kitchen, you don't.
Yes, but I'm saying that you cannot equate the tea in the kitchen to the creation of the universe. Because that is inherently grounded in the human experience. It's not grounded within something that we don't even understand. And to be able to understand that, we would need maybe thousands, maybe hundreds of years of more scientific research.
You're not understanding something.
Yes, and I don't want to make conclusions about it.
Not understanding something, so you can still rationalize the possibilities of how something could happen.
And this is where religion comes from.
No, hold on a second. So it could either be a material cause or an immaterial one.
Yeah.
Could there be any other cause?
Of the universe?
Yes.
Either material or immaterial.
Right.
I'd say.
So is there any other?
No, I'd say it was material.
Material.
Yeah.
So if there is a material cause, what is the cause of that material cause? Another material cause?
It's strung up. It's strung up within a web of like different. Yes, okay. But causation. The idea of causation. It's something very different to what, like, the way I perceive the universe to have begun. The way I perceive it, we are very lucky.
You can't use your perception.
You said material cause.
Yes, yeah.
Can there be an infinite series of material causes?
Perhaps, yes.
Can you traverse?
I can't.
Can you traverse an infinite number of steps to get to this step?
No.
So there can't be
infinites. The idea of the problem of infinites. Yes, and this is what we came across before. But the idea of it, us not being able to understand infinity.
Hold on a second. An infinite series. That means you can't count them.
No.
They're beyond counting. Can you ever traverse an infinite number of steps to get to this step?
No.
Us talking.
No.
So
but we never know you could do that in the universe.
Hold on a second. So therefore, it can't be an infinite number of steps.
Yes.
It has to be finite. Okay. So when something is finite, it requires a beginning of everything.
Yeah.
Now that beginning of everything,
exactly.
Is it material or immaterial?
The beginning of everything.
Yes.
I'd say inherently it has to be material.
Why?
It has to, because our world is consisting of gases, of chemicals.
Why does it have to be material?
Because we live here. We live in this world.
And is that dependent or independent? Independent.
Yeah. I don't think it's dependent on anything.
So it exists.
It exists
without
for the very
any explanation.
It exists, but we haven't found the explanation yet.
But no. It exists without any explanation of its existence.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've come to that conclusion how?
Through actually understanding that I can't tell you the beginning of the universe, and I thought about this a lot, because I can't sit here and I've thought about it, because it's insane, like we live in a universe filled with intricate planets, stars, galaxies. No. This is how I'm telling you. So we live in this world. It's very much unexplainable to us where it began from. We have this idea of the Big Bang. We have this. It's like, to non-scientists, to people that don't specialize in it, it's quite difficult to conceptualize. It's quite difficult to understand. So what my conclusion is that we don't need to understand that. We can make our own. We define our reality in our own way. We must. Yeah, that's where I came back to my conclusion.
Why does it have to be material?
Why does it have to be material? It has to be because we are physically made out of material existence. It means that there's matter.
Yeah, but the explanation for matter does not necessarily necessitate that the underlying cause of everything itself, the beginning of everything, the necessary cause of everything itself has to be material. I'm asking you why you're insisting upon that and not saying that it could be material or immaterial. I'm wondering why you're missing out the possibility of immaterial.
Yeah.
That's why.
No, I get you. Yeah. No,
because I believe that's not being.
Yeah.
If you said I don't know,
yeah,
then what you would have to argue Is that, well, I don't know, it could be immaterial.
It could be,
or
yes,
could be
this is my
material.
point. This is my
no,
point.
No, but you said it
I
has
said,
to be.
yeah. No, I made a mistake there.
Okay.
I made a mistake there
So,
in my.
okay.
But what I do say is that we don't need to know.
Now listen to what I'm going to say to you now.
Okay.
If it can be immaterial, or it is material, either one of the two, we have to then assert our logic and our reason to see which one seems more reasonable, right? Yes. Based upon the evidence, right?
Yes, based upon
now,
evidence.
if it's material, what qualities must this material thing possess to bring things into existence?
Knowledge, will,
power, all of these things, right?
Which matter doesn't have apart from its.
I understand this. I understand
so
the
now
argument.
you have to ask the question. Look, I'm not trying to corner you.
No.
What I'm trying to do to you, brother, is this. You just think about these things with a level of neutrality, because you've said you don't know. And all I'm saying
I'm saying that there's no need to know.
No, but what I'm saying to you also is this. Have an open mind. Okay? When something seems reasonable, at least say, you know what, that sounds quite reasonable.
Yeah.
Now, we agree that if it's material, it needs consciousness, immense power, knowledge, to a level that you or I, we can't even comprehend.
Yes.
Yeah,
We don't know, and we don't need to.
The laws of physics, the
Yes,
DNA.
exactly.
Why do you keep saying we don't need to?
We don't need to because
Why?
Why?
Is the
Because
question?
my whole idea about like religion, like I
That's
personally,
yours, that's subjective.
Before we get to that, Desmond,
That's
before
subjective.
we get to that,
I mean,
before we get to that, now you have a material cause with
dear.
consciousness, power,
Yes.
a will.
yes, but where does that come from, though?
No, hold on a second. Now, that to me does not look like a non, let's say, conscious, intelligent cause of everything.
Yeah.
It sounds a lot like what religious folk would say to you is the creator.
I know.
So what I'm asking you, brother, is this. Why don't you at least acknowledge that that's a reasonable possibility?
Okay.
And in fact, it seems more reasonable. It's
okay.
than just a material
I
cause
completely-
that existed
I com-
infinitely without anything bringing that existence into existence.
No, my
right?
friend, yeah.
And the supernatural cause
Yes.
seems more reasonable.
Exactly. I understand
So
this.
you
With
accept
this, yes, no, I understand that. I completely,
Sorry,
I personally, like, I grew up in a Muslim country, and I was very exposed to,
What country was that?
in Dubai.
Oh, Dubai.
Yes. So I spent half my life in Dubai, and all of my good friends are Muslims, and I love Islam as a religion, and I
Why don't
really.
you accept it then?
I love it.
If
And
you love
my
something, accept
father's an Islamic specialist, and
Your father's an Islamic specialist.
Islamic banking.
Okay.
So, but this is why, and I thought about this idea for a very long time. But the idea, like, it provides comfort. The idea of a creator is comforting. It's comfort, but it is.
But brother, let me just-
And in the sense, exactly of what you were saying.
Can something true, can something that is the reality and it's true, give you comfort?
But of course it
Yes.
can. Of course
So-
it can.
so-
But that doesn't mean
No, but
what
hold on
you're.
a second. But having comfort from something.
Yes.
And I accept Islam gives me a lot of comfort.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But that does not falsify Islam.
No, I know it
Because
doesn't.
Islam could be true.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
I could be attaining comfort from something that is
From
true.
the truth. Yeah.
So it doesn't rationally mean that just because some people get comfort from religion, therefore God is false or religion is false.
Yes, no, but my grounding of religion is more historical. This is why I'm not, as educated as you are, gentlemen, on these ideas of, continuously. I've read up about it, but I'm more of, I denounce religion on bounds on history. On purely on history,
Okay,
and where
others
religion.
are
This is
very well
this
versed
is where I can. This is where
It's not your critical, rational thinking about the philosophical.
Yes, it's more so.
basis of God's
It's
existence.
exactly
It's to do with your
history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically.
Oh, basically, not just Islam, by the way, all religion.
Fine.
Yeah.
In fact, you're much closer in accepting the truth than many other people. I'll tell you why. Because you have no philosophical objection, rational objection, reasonable intellectual objection that it could be that there is a creator
This is not,
with all the qualities.
But this is where my okay.
Because you know
But
the
can I say something? But my understanding of course I've watched a few of these videos and I've come across these ideas and come across these ideas of where does religion come from? It comes from ideas about like we were speaking for the last 40 minutes. But my own objections come from as I'm a history student. So I understand history and I have my own perception of history. And religion, my understanding, through history, that's posited. That's what's made me an atheist. My historical research, that's what's made me an atheist. Not about questions about the universe. Because frankly, like when you were questioning about it, I just don't really care about it. I don't really think about it. That's not the grounds on which I denounce religion on. I denounce it on is if you look at religion historically, and if you look at the effect it's had historically, it's clearly served a geopolitical purpose. It's clearly served a purpose that's above religion, and it's very much what I think the greatest sin of Europe, the greatest mistake it's ever committed is elevating Christianity to the position it has now. It's slowed down human progress. It's slowed down Europe's progress, maybe 600, 700 years. The Muslims understood that in the Golden Age, the Golden Age of Islam, right? Following the moving of the capital from Damascus to Baghdad, and creating an absolutely cultural center. They used religion in a way, but they also accepted knowledge. They accepted new thoughts. They accepted debates. They accepted.
But that's Islam.
That's Islam, yes. What Christianity didn't do.
We're not Christians.
No. But I'm talking about religion in general.
A question on this, right?
Yeah.
Suppose now, because you have the options, like it's reasonable to believe that there is an intelligent, self-aware, conscious, willing creator of this cosmos. As a possibility.
Yeah.
Now suppose there is, and this creator interacted with human beings how to live their life with a purpose. Mm-hmm. How would it be otherwise from what is now?
But how would it be otherwise? Yeah. Like, well, what with the religious?
Because you're saying because of what I see in history,
it
somehow disproves there's a creator. So I don't know how would it be otherwise.
What do you mean? Like how would the?
Like suppose there was a creator.
Yeah.
So you would expect the human history to be like what?
If there was a creator. Yeah. Then there would be one religion. Firstly, there would be one religion. There wouldn't be the multiplicity that we have today. Religion? Because if there really was a creator, then there would be one cult, one sect that follows.
Let me just put some spices in.
Yeah.
So God created us with critical thinking, with our intellect, with a choice to agree or disagree. Mm-hmm. So He puts people to agree or disagree. And you're expecting God, without forcing everyone, that all human beings will agree with one thing.
No, but I'm saying that if there was, that humans would come together, and they would
agree on the same thing.
Exactly. But that's the very this is the very idea of what religion is.
Look at the data set. So there is a creator who created human beings with a choice.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if there was a creator, and let's say there was, let's say like all of what we're talking about, there was a creator, he created our world, he did this, he did that. Then humans would we wouldn't necessarily see much of a difference.
How would there be one religion? I want to understand.
One religion, because that would be the creator would have willed it. Surely the creator would have been above humanity.
Firstly, look at my premises. The creator creates human beings with a choice.
Yeah.
That means I can agree and you can disagree.
Yes,
right?
of course.
That's what it means.
Yes.
Different kind of wills.
Yes.
There
would be atheists in the world.
Given that faculty, how are you postulating
this?
No,
I get that.
there will be one religion?
No, if that's how you're defining how God creates the world, then that's but let me tell you why really what my thoughts are, why I don't.
But do you understand that?
Yes, I do. I completely agree.
Your study of history is based on perhaps a false premise in which human beings are forced to agree on everything.
They're not forced. This is my point. They're not forced. What it has done is religion has become politics. Listen.
Just
religion.
one moment.
Okay.
If human beings have this choice involved, how is it possible all of them can agree? None of the Greek philosophers agreed on the same thing.
They're forced.
Forced.
It's like Christianity. If you look at what Christianity is, by the church. Okay, Islam.
Superimpose Christianity.
No. I'm talking about religion in general. Okay, Islam as well. Okay.
Can some teaching, forget religion, I'm talking about good teaching, be deliberately misconstrued, misinterpreted, and corrupted by human beings?
Yeah.
Does that mean the teaching is wrong?
No. But that's not the argument. My argument.
You said one religion.
What is your argument?
So that's
my argument. No.
What I'm trying to explain to you.
I understand. Yeah.
When you make a premise, think it through.
I know, I get it.
It's got to be logical.
Yes.
So, for example, Islam could be true, but if I don't follow Islam, even though I claim that I'm following Islam and I do bad things, does that make Islam false or does that make me a bad person?
It depends on but like what wrong and right.
If I'm not following Islam and I do bad things, does that make Islam false or me a bad person?
It makes you a bad person.
So this is look,
exactly.
This is logic.
That's logic. Yes.
Look, all we're saying to you, brother, is this: you've already agreed that there is a reasonable possibility of there being a creator. Mansur has just basically said to you, how would you know if this creator has ordained for you guidance, given guidance to you?
Yeah.
I would say what's rational is that who are making this claim? And then they're saying that, the Bible is from God, they're saying the Torah is from God, the Hindu scriptures are from God, the Islamic scripture, the Quran is from God. Allah has given you a faculty to reason, to investigate. So use that reason and investigate.
Yes, and this is my.
And then, just as the brother here, myself, often being born in this country, have researched Islam, researched the Quran to verify for ourselves. Does the weight of evidence give us a compelling, heavy, weighted argument for its divine cause, divine origin, or is it, as you say, just something that people thought up?
No, but they did.
But the point here is this.
And with very good reason, my friend.
What have you investigated about the Quran?
The Quran? Because the Quran...
Because you've nullified it by saying that. What have you investigated?
No, I'll tell you exactly. That the Quran itself, it came out of... if you look at where Islam started, you look at Medina, you look at Mecca...
What have you studied about the Quran?
I'm telling you. So, Medina and Mecca, right? They were... Without Islam, without this unifier, without this idea of an entity that's above these tribes, these herdsmen that were completely incoherent. What did Muhammad come? Muhammad came and he, peace be upon him, of course. Like he came and he unified the people because he gave exactly your reason. Because no, listen. I know. I'm telling you.
So that's one of his motives. We can examine that.
Motives? Yes. Is that when it gave people a reason to live, a reason above and beyond themselves, above and beyond their a reason to live. Yes. These things and it unified the people. I know.
I asked you. You can go through the motives, but I asked you because you nullified the Quran by claiming some historical things. I'm asking you critically, how did you nullify the Quran itself? By studying it, it makes lots of claims.
Yes.
Had this book come from anyone other than your Lord, surely you would have found within it many contradictions or errors. Have you found any contradictions or errors in the Quran?
No.
Have you studied the Quran?
I haven't studied it properly, but I've read through.
What I would humbly suggest to you, it claims to be from the Creator, and it gives you a criteria, a falsification test of how it might not be from the Creator. At least apply that test. At least do that investigation. Then if you want to nullify it based upon evidence, say these are the reasons I have studied and therefore I nullified the Quran. Then we can have that discussion.
I agree with that.
What I would urge you to do is don't look at peripheral issues, attributing your own interpretation of why they might have happened, and then nullifying the Quran. That's not sensible.
No, but I didn't.
Do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
I agree, but I'm just telling you my interpretation of why
I'd like Dr. Imran to say something. I've been saying too much.
No. This is my interpretation of why I think they're not just Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, because they are they've come up, and like Christianity and Islam, they have their similarities. They have in the way that they've developed as entities, because. Just as with Islam, it brought this mass of people together under a very good cause, under a very powerful cause, and intellectually.
If Islam was true, or is true, would you expect that cause that you've just discussed, a unifying cause, a cause of bringing everybody together?
It would be true as well.
Right?
It would be true as well.
Now we have a massive issue there.
So now the issue here is...
Yes, I know. This is
what
you're arguing against,
that's what would
you're
happen.
arguing for at the same time.
No. Because if Islam was true,
you
would not expect
if
it to disunite
this is
the
a big
people.
if, though.
No, but the point I'm trying to make... But the point I'm trying to make to you is you're using an evidence of what happened to the people against Islam. And I'm trying to explain to you logically.
It could be used,
that
yes.
If Islam was true, that is exactly what you would expect
Yes,
to happen.
but my assumption is that by inherently studying that, it actually posits the opposite.
No, how can it do that? But
It posits the opposite,
You've just
though.
agreed to me that
Yes.
if Islam was true.
No,
is true,
I know, but that's a
that
big
you would
assumption that you've made there. If it's true.
No, but you're giving a logical. You're giving a logical reasoning as a premise and a conclusion. You're saying because it unified everybody together.
Yeah.
Therefore, Islam is false.
No, not just because of that. Not just because of that. Because of many reasons. Because it gave purpose. Because it gave this. Because of this.
But if the
that
religion
doesn't
is true,
mean.
but if the religion is true, that's what you would expect to happen.
Of course, it's true. Yes, of course.
That concept can't validate or disprove Islam.
But within my understanding of how
I think
Anyway,
the
let
question is,
Dr. Imran say
we can ask Dr. Imran on this question, because you are looking at the historical milieu and you're thinking this is a development, a cultural development,
yes,
and it's been somehow religionized. Okay,
it's been politicized.
Yes,
politicized.
Now, so because of this kind of approach in history, you have to identify motives, which you are doing.
Yeah.
We can examine those motives and see whether they're actually valid or not, justifiable or not.
I agree.
So, the motives we've had so far is unification of the people.
Yep.
And when we talk about people, we're talking about the Arabs.
Yep.
We're talking about the Jews, and we're talking about the Christians.
Other Christians,
the polytheists, Jews, and the Christians, and people may not have some beliefs and so on. Some of them may be inclined to monotheism, whatever. These are the broad four categories of people.
Yeah.
There might be other Sabians, flower worshippers, and so on, right? And we heard about something else you said. What was the second thing? This is one is unification.
Pull people together, give them meaning, purpose.
Purpose.
Yeah.
Giving them a purpose.
Yeah.
Let's deal with unification.
Okay.
How does that tally with the teaching of the Quran, when it talks about different tribes, Christian things and so on? Does it really give us a true picture of this is how it's uniting, or is it actually doing the opposite?
So you'd expect a religion, if it were true, to unite the people.
Yeah.
You'd expect a religion, if it were true, to give people purpose. So the observations that you're making, that you're then using to say the religion isn't true,
I understand.
are the same
No.
observations that you.
I understand that. I understand the reasons. Yeah.
So you don't understand why the brothers are saying that your objections don't
Exactly.
make logical sense.
I was going to talk about rather the motives. Let me hint to them. And for example, if I was to unite the Arabs, right?
Yeah.
Imagine now I want to unite the Arabs.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start praising them and what they hold the most dear to them.
Absolutely.
So they hold the dearest to them is
Idolatry,
praising the idols. So to unite them, what I need to do is not to curse their idols, to destroy their idols and saying they're not worthy of worship. I should say, wow, this idol is so great and that's so great. Imagine I'm praising your idol and your idol. So you're with me now. You're with me now. So I'm uniting all of them. So instead of doing that, what Prophet Muhammad did, he says, none of them are worthy of worship. So he is disuniting the Arabs. In fact, this is what happened. His whole community was abandoning him. His whole family is abandoning him. So we don't see, even from his own community, Arabs, they're being united. What about how he talked about the Jewish people? He talked about how Maryam, for example, Allah chose as the best of all the women. Imagine telling that to an Arab. Oh, that Jewish woman, she is the most highest, best of all the women. Elevated above all the women of the world. How is that going to unite the Arabs? It's not.
Or the nobility.
Yeah. Now let's talk about how it's uniting the Christians. It says Christ wasn't crucified. Christ is not God. He's not Son of God. In fact, when you say he's the Son of God, the universe is about to shatter and destroy itself. The earth is about to split. Okay. So
Don't say three.
Don't say three. How is it uniting the Christians by destroying their core belief and disagreeing with their core belief? It's not uniting the Christians either. Jewish people, if you think about it, how the Quran criticized the Jewish people and what they did. So when we look at the motive question, this is not the best way.
So you don't think Islam was a very good unifier?
No. What I'm saying is, if you put the motive as unification of people, the Quran shows otherwise. It's not unifying as you expect. That means that wasn't the motive. The motive is establishing the truth.
Okay.
Because the truth may be against
but
their
one needs to look
interests.
at the evidence, though, the empirical evidence for it. And what did it do, Islam? Okay, first, as you mentioned, Muhammad
They
was
united because of the truth.
Empirical evidence.
Not
sorry.
because
empirical evidence of what happened.
That's not empirical evidence, is it?
Empirical. Of events that happened.
Empiricism is absolute, right?
Yes, it's exactly what happened.
Absolute evidence are you going to provide?
Of that it unified the people and quite literally destroyed two empires.
Unification didn't happen because of this. Unification happened because they recognized the truth.
Okay.
Yeah?
That's
This
a
is one
different
caveat.
interpretation.
No,
yeah.
but logically you've already accepted.
That is something when you study the history, you'll realize actually it didn't unite the people in their tribal unification, it disunited them. So what united them is they abandoned this relationship between brother and sister, even though they're lineage, and they united with someone else of a faith because they accepted that this was true.
Yeah.
This didn't work. So it's not a motive of, you see, we are historically analyzing a motive of a fake individual claims to be from God. What about purpose? What was his purpose? Was he a moral reformer? Was he trying to reform the society? Maybe.
I agree.
That
I
could
agree.
be.
Yeah.
But look at the way he's reforming. If he's reforming morality, why is he talking about look at the universe, how the universe is expanding?
Because
why
that gives reason. That in itself is a unifier. Because how else do you understand? No, because
that's not a moral reformation.
Yes,
I think you know what it is, Mansur?
It's
the point that Imran just made as well to you is that you're already in agreement that something being true, you would also.
No, it's a very good point he made.
You would
yeah.
also expect it to unify the people.
Yeah.
So that point doesn't apply now. So what's your other point?
My point is that if you study, if you look at Islam, if you look at Christianity, if you look at the Jews, these beliefs, these ideas, they did not come out of a vacuum. They came out of being many years under persecution from two empires that were themselves ideologically founded on, it was the Byzantines, which was Christianity, and it was the Sassanids in Iran, which had their own Zarathustrian religion, which was founded upon, which is idolatry, which is what Muhammad hates.
Can somebody who's on the right path?
But what is the alternative?
Can somebody who's on the right path suffer great persecution?
Yeah.
So that doesn't apply either.
argument either.
So what's your other argument?
No. That's not connected. I'm saying what the argument was that Islam did not grow out of a vacuum. It grew out of being oppressed, being a nation, being a part of the
How
world.
were the Arabs oppressed when Islam came to them?
They were inherently, by both forces, they were in between.
Byzantines and the Persians were not in control of Arabia.
No, but but what? Yes, but Muhammad came and conquered their own territory. He destroyed Iran.
You're talking about 20 years ago.
Yes. This is my point. This is my point where empirical evidence is
You're
used.
making any points.
No.
Honestly.
And
Understand
this
the
is-
problem?
I do.
What you've done is you've taken something afterwards that the Muslims conquered the Romans and they conquered the
Yeah, I know. It's prior to.
But you're saying that event proves that why the religion started, but you're talking about something that
20
was
years plus after.
Yes, I know.
23 years later than from the start.
From the start, exactly.
So you-
but
what you
it
need to
started.
explain
It
is
started.
the
But I'm saying that I believe Muhammad was a great warrior, and he was a great strategist, and I believe that he wanted to use Islam
Where does history say that?
because he won so many battles.
He won battles after Islam.
Yes, after Islam.
No,
but he used Islam to win those battles.
Where did he get Islam from? Because
So until the age of 40, the Prophet peace be upon him wasn't.
No, I know.
So
where
you
did he
need to
get that
explain
from?
the start.
When does he become a great strategist when it comes to war, to defeat the Persians and the Byzantines?
Yeah.
Where did he get all these strategies from?
Who was his teacher? Teachers.
Who Muhammad's teacher?
In terms of law, ethics, morality, science, in terms of every aspect of life that
we
the
don't
Quran
know
touches
that,
upon.
Strategies of war.
We don't know that.
No, we now have a big problem. We need to understand where did he get this information from. So when the Quran says, وَالسَّمَاءِ وَالطَّارِقِ, it's like knocking stars, piercing bright knocking stars. Now, he didn't have to talk about it because he didn't have the telescopes to know about them. But now we know there are stars which are pulsating stars, right? And they make these kind of sounds.
Yeah.
How did he know that? Neither the Greeks, or the Romans, or the Indian Hindus, civilization, Chinese, no one knew them. How is he firstly talking about things which no one talked about, and no one could have talked about, and yet now we realize that this information is actually quite interesting.
No, but that is a facet. That's a facet of Islam that I don't necessarily like. I have, like I said, I don't criticize Islam on that level. I criticize it more so.
Where did you get that information from? It's a
That's good.
question.
I know it's a rational question.
So if you
I
now,
can't tell you. I can't tell you that.
No problem. So suppose now we give you example after example after example. You realize you need a submarine. You need an electronic microscope. You need a telescope. You need a spaceship. All of these technological tools that are of modern day.
I would say
you need it. You'd still say
no. What I would say is that there was a lot that before Islam, before anything. When the Greeks were here, there was the beautiful library of Alexandria. The great library of Alexandria, and it was birds. No. Listen. I'm connecting things. I do think that there was that knowledge
library
existed.
Of Alexandria, and when was it burnt? Are you talking about post-Islamic?
Pre-Islamic, way before 200 BC.
And
it was burnt.
Okay.
It was burnt, and what I'm saying is that knowledge that there was actually now as historians we can understand that what they were talking about and what they was actually far advanced than even what they were discussing in the Middle Ages. So your idea about where did it come from, where is that it could be the knowledge could have been there, but we just that knowledge was burnt down.
So you're saying that the Prophet Muhammad had access to the burnt writings?
No. My point is that knowledge could have been within that world. We simply, from our perspective, we don't know whether it was there because we can't ascertain.
That knowledge from if you require telescopes and submarines and.
No. But I'm sure that there was that knowledge.
Knowledge from submarines.
No, okay, I don't know what this point about submarines is. Like,
interoceanic waves. You need to go deep down the oceans with a submarine to observe that. We have to.
Wait, about sonar.
We have to, or sonar technology. They had sonar technology.
What? You're saying they had sonar? Then.
No, I'm saying. Are you saying they had sonar?
No.
Are you saying they had satellites that we can observe the interoceanic currents?
They had telescopes. The Greeks had telescopes.
Using telescopes, you won't be able to see.
This is the point in my point about the great library of Alexandria.
With the telescope,
there is a lot of knowledge.
Did they observe the universe expanding?
No.
They believed otherwise. They believed the universe is static.
Yes.
But the Quran says God created the universe with his own hands and he's the one, the expander thereof, meaning he's constantly expanding it.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
You don't expect that knowledge to have been there, present there with the technological tools they had, right?
No, but I do think it could have been there, but we just don't know about it now.
With what?
Because
how did they know?
This is my point. That what there was, like we don't know how they would know. We don't.
I don't want to use the word absurd, but what you're saying is that there was this knowledge that was available in the.
I'm saying that knowledge could have been there.
Sure. And that was burnt 200 BC using your day. 800 years later, there is a person who, at the age of 40, starts to make these claims and writes these, and has this text written that he's
and never makes any mistakes.
Yes, no,
and
I know.
You're saying that somehow this person had access to that information.
No. I'm saying that.
Or it was.
No. I'm saying by virtue of that knowledge being there in the first place. Let's say it wasn't burnt. Let's say the great library of Alexandria. But I'm saying that. But the point is that knowledge was there. It could have been there. But we just don't know that it was.
But where is so now what you have to show is that how the Prophet had access to this information.
Yeah, I can't tell you that now.
So not only that, but there's a famous embryologist, and he said the claims that the Quran makes about embryology. Muhammad, peace be upon him, would have had to discover the electron microscope. I think 1,000 years before, or whatever it was discovered. He would have to come up with profound scientific truths, destroy all the technology and everything he had, and then somehow sneak it into his book.
Just to give a little bit of spice to what you're saying.
This is the absurdity of the claim that you're making.
When it comes to human development as a baby in the mother's womb, there were so many different theories around from the philosophers and scientists. I want to contextualize it. Yeah. So many. Imagine this. So many understanding of it, right? And they're all full of errors. Come 6th century, 7th century, when the Prophet Muhammad is there, he's somehow able to filter all of this wrong theory
come up with a new
and come up with the most accurate theory, which they didn't get it right until modern times. Like even 1673, when Van Leeuwenhoek had this microscope, they claimed they could see a whole human embryo, whole human being
Miniature.
In a miniature form, and it makes it get bigger and bigger and bigger. They claim, scientists claim that. 1673. The Quran, of course, 1440 years ago, saying no, human beings transforms, creation after creation of transformation from different stages.
Yeah.
And today we know that this information is amazingly accurate.
Oh no, and I.
So
This
you
is
need
why-
to come
this is
up
why I
with
think
a
no.
rational basis of saying how he is able to filter all the errors of science from the past and from his own contemporary times, and even after another 700, 800 years later in the future, and came up with a correct understanding. You have to justify that
whilst being illiterate.
Yeah. No, I mean that's why I find the Quran to be such an amazing piece of work.
Isn't that more reasons to
but
say this is instead a divine revelation?
No, I don't think it's got anything to do with divine revelation.
So-
I don't think.
so you have to tell us
think that
actually
this
why
is
it's
no.
not.
I'll tell you. I think Muhammad was a very, very. I think Muhammad was a very, very, very smart man. He was, and he showed himself. He showed himself to be incredibly smart in terms of military strategy, in terms of like you said, in terms of what he said, in terms of. But I don't think that you can now, because that's a deductive assumption. That's inherently deductive. What you're saying, he doesn't have access to that knowledge. Hence, there's a divine creator. You're making a jump there.
We're
Yes.
saying is the information that he
It
had,
wasn't there. It wasn't there.
You're
Yes.
saying.
I know it wasn't there.
No, you're saying.
But why
simply-
couldn't he?
Let's
Why
understand
couldn't he have been
something.
a?
You're saying he's so smart he could filter all of this incorrect information because he had access to some special tools that he had, which wasn't even developed. Not only that, he even challenged the whole world to bring something like the Quran, and yet people are still struggling to imitate it. This is what we should be discussing, because things that he said in terms of falsification tests, you'd expect to be absent. Why is he putting his honor, his stake, his prophethood on stake when he could have just simply not made any of these claims? Why is he saying, you know what, the Romans and the Byzantines and so on, look, they're having a war, but the Romans have been defeated, but you know what? Sooner, in 3 to 9 years' time, even though they've been defeated, they'll be victorious again. Why is he saying that?
You know what you have to
Because
also-
does he know the future?
What you also
Think about it.
understand is that today's scientists, they come up with theories, new theories,
Yeah.
don't they? Yes? Would we ever say, oh, this probably was discovered 500 years ago, we might just have lost it,
No,
and
I
they
know,
might just
of
have found
course,
it,
of course,
and they might
of
just
course.
have added it?
No, this is your-
Why don't we say that? Because it's not a reasonable thing to assume.
Yeah.
Right? So on balance of probability, when a man in a desert in the 7th century talks about profound things that were discovered 1,000 or 1,500 years, 1,800 years after, 1,300, 1,200 years afterwards, it's not reasonable to just nullify all of that by saying, well, it could have all been there before, and he could have just happened to get it all right and come up with in fact novel.
I'm saying
new
that the knowledge
theories.
could have been there, and we don't know that it was there.
No, but on balance of probability.
If that was the case, there would be,
Balance.
if that was the case, just one
Sorry,
second.
go on.
If that was the case that the knowledge was already there, then it would already be disseminated. Now the problem is you have
And
no
it was
other,
disseminated.
You have no other.
But later on,
you have no other contemporary source that gives.
no,
that,
there is no source.
That gives the same
There
information.
is no source. But that's the problem with history. But I don't see. But I don't see that.
He single-handedly deciphered the hieroglyphics. He single-handedly understood the embryology and all these natural phenomena. And not only he did that, he was able to correct their misunderstanding of scientific reality, whether it's to do with space, whether it's to do with interoceanic things.
I'm not saying it was just him. It could have been. He could have had a team. But I'm saying. But I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Where are these teams? Why is the Quran simply saying this is a revelation from God? And if you had a teacher, they would have just said, "Hey, hold on a second, I taught you that." Why is
But
it
revelation
why is
from God, it lends it legitimacy. It lends it legitimacy.
Imagine his teacher was
it allows the people to stand behind something that's not.
But think about it, Alexis. If he claimed that to be a revelation from God, imagine you did that, and these are your teachers.
Yeah.
They're going to leave you alone? They're going to expose you to the whole world. What an imposter
That's
you
what
are.
happened to
Because
Muhammad
they
at the
taught
beginning.
you.
That's what happened with him at the beginning.
No teacher has been demonstrated to come up like, oh, I taught him that and so on, historically absent from Muslim sources and non-Muslim sources. But that's why I went beyond the knowledge that you think may be available. I said, why is he making predictions of the future? And how does he even get it right? Does he know the future? Number one. How is he able to say no one is going to imitate like this Quran? And people are still unable to do that. why is he making this claim? That you know, even in Dubai, the Quran claims that if you're in doubt as to what God has revealed to his servant, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
Also, at the beginning of Judgment Day, the skyscrapers in the desert.
Produce a chapter like the Quran. Why is the Quran making that claim? And why are people who are experts in Arabic? Do you know there are so many atheist Arabs even today?
I'm sure.
Yeah? Underground and overground, right? Many atheist Arabs. They're born Arab and they will die as an Arab.
Yeah.
Why are they unable to match something like, imitate something like the Quran? They don't have to say, oh, I made it. They could have simply anonymously produced this work. An excuse we hear is, oh, their life is in danger because if they imitated the Quran. Silly argument.
No,
because they could just simply produce the work
but
and there you go.
But I do think the idea of a God and
I'm
the
not
idea.
talking about God.
No,
I'm talking about
But this is my
when
point.
the Quran makes claims like this, you have to explain rationally how is it impossible to imitate.
Yeah.
You know what? You can imitate Shakespeare. You can imitate Beethoven. You can imitate any of this literary genius of music and literature and art and so on. Why is Quran unimitable? Is the question rationally needing an answer.
No, I agree. I agree. But what my point is that I think, by saying that there is a God, like let's say, like by saying that there is something behind what I'm saying here, that means that someone I've received like divine instruction. I've got divine instruction, but that inherently means that like I won't be attacked directly. I lend my ideas to someone else. By that way, people can stand behind something. People can stand. It's the very idea of faith, because it's where faith comes in. Because you can't, as much as you can have a faith in one man, once that man dies, the faith dies. But what Muhammad did is he placed that within God's purview, within something that we cannot touch, we cannot understand, something that's not on our earth. So by that way, he sheltered away criticism, and he created the perfect recipe for unification. Because once he dies, the message lives on, because the message is not from him, it's from God.
We already responded to about unification theory.
Yes.
And it doesn't.
Yes. But this is my point.
The other point I want to make is, if there was a God, what do you expect from him in terms of proof and evidence to us?
If there was a God?
Because what we're saying is the Quran is giving you this proof and evidence to accept that there is a God. How else would you?
Prayer. If you pray and your prayers are answered.
Many people's prayers are answered. Prophet Muhammad when he prayed, his prayers are answered.
Yeah.
This was seen. So I want to know from you, how else would you expect to say, if that God existed, I expect such and such evidence? What is your expectation of God? Because you seem to be
expectation of God,
struggling with that. What is it that's stopping you saying, okay, you know what? I'm still not convinced because I expect this, and that.
No, I say that expectation. I personally, because I don't seek that expectation. I don't seek
but
it.
Suppose there was a God.
I don't seek it, but this is the difference.
Yes, what do we expect?
What do we expect? Okay.
What
do you expect? I assume you suspect you live your life according to the Quran.
No. To affirm the existence of the Creator.
I don't know. I actually don't know that. How
we need to think rationally, because if the question of God's existence
I agree.
is in dispute,
I
right?
agree.
So we need to have some kind of understanding. What are we expecting then?
Yeah.
What does God have to do to make us convinced about Him?
But
what is it that you're expecting?
I mean, you could tell me that, because I don't expect anything. That's the thing.
What should we expect?
Yes, but can you tell me that, please? Because I don't know. Because I don't think about this.
Convincing evidences which shows the handiwork of God.
And what are those? What is that?
The examples that we've given. It cannot come from one human being, let alone the whole of humanity. Like this challenge of the Quran to imitate the Quran, it's not just saying, okay, I expect one human being to do it. The whole human being, not only that, whole jinns, another living creature of God, they are also included too.
Okay, but then would you expect to see jinns physically?
That's not the question I'm asking.
But the question is, even the jinns can help you to do that job. The fact that no one is able to do it, it gives you credibility that this book is indeed what it claims to be. Because if it was from a human being or a group of human beings, you should be able to imitate it.
Yeah.
But because we cannot imitate it, then we need to really take this claim seriously, that it says it's from God and we can't imitate it. That's what we expect.
Yeah.
If it was from God, it should not be imitable.
Yeah.
If it was from God, it should say something.
Yeah.
It should say something that we know, that it would know the secrets of the heavens and the earth.
Yeah.
For example, about these things, you know, the Quran says God has not placed two hearts in one man. He's a medical doctor. He will tell you, no adult human beings is ever known to have two hearts.
Yeah.
Even though there were babies known in history, they died. Quran uses the word rajulin. Rajul.
But do you not think that
how
knowledge...
is it possible? Yeah. How is it possible that he knows that this will never happen, and it never happened in history?
I'm going to be honest with you.
It's also more profound than that, actually.
Huh?
It's more profound than that.
Yeah.
Allah specifically mentions man,
not women.
He doesn't mention women. Did you know a woman can have two hearts in her body?
When a baby is developing with a heart, that's another heart.
So that's not the woman.
But hold on, but the grammar of the Quran, when we study it, is so precise when it comes to these matters that you wonder why specifically Allah did not mention humankind. Allah mentioned man. The point that I'm trying to make to you, brother, and what Mansur is trying to say to you is this. Do you believe the works written by Aristotle were Aristotle's works?
I don't, but I take them as a canon of philosophy.
Do you believe that
it's
they're probably from Aristotle?
Yes.
Do you believe that the works...
Maybe they're from... I don't think Shakespeare was one individual. I think he was 3 or 4.
From Plato?
Plato, yeah.
Shakespeare, maybe you're saying 1 or 2, but Shakespeare?
Yeah.
Okay. So then when Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, we have more history, more testimony, more eyewitness testimony, multiple testimonies in multiple locations in the world of the complete chain of testimonies of the very people that witnessed those things are saying that these were the words that came from Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. You would rather deny that and accept
all of these
ulterior. And so what we're trying to say to you is, be consistent, man.
No, I know, but I think...
if all of the evidence points towards A, why do you go to B?
Because I think...
As a reasonable possibility.
Exactly. But what I would say, what I would respond to that, is I think, like, the Quran, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece of work. It's a beautiful piece of spiritual work. Like you said, academic. It's instructive. But then, even though it's so profound in its instruction, as all of you have told me, as you've outlined, I don't see that equivalating to. I don't see Muhammad not being able to work that out by himself.
You haven't studied the Quran.
Yes, this is why I'm saying that. I will come back and I will look.
So you're not therefore in a position to be able to assess the miracle if you haven't even studied it. That's all we're saying to you.
No, I know. This is why I say I will specifically. I'll go into the Quran.
What we're trying to say to you is, look, here's the Quran. These are the claims that are being made. We would say by God why it's a miracle. At least with an open heart and an open mind, study those to ascertain whether it's reasonable. It's reasonable that this was the work of Muhammad or some men, or in fact is so profound that it could only come from God.
No.
And then that at least then you're being honest and you're being fair because you're assessing the claim and assessing the evidence.
No, this is what I'll do. This is what I do.
What we're saying to you, brother, is this. Don't discard it because of a predisposition of already denying it. Don't fall into that trap. We're just saying, look, be reasonable.
I agree.
We're saying accept what we're saying,
but study it, investigate. No.
Would you agree, Doctor?
Yes, no, I completely agree, and this has been a very enlightening conversation for me as well, because like I said, I refute religion on different grounds than we clearly had, and we took about an hour for us to understand that. But I refute it on different grounds. But I haven't really studied the Quran like I should have.
Take our email.
Yeah,
please
for sure.
Contact us.
No, I want to be.
We can have discussions off camera.
Yes.
But what I would say to you, my brother, is this: if there is a possibility of an afterlife, you have to accept that surely that's of more value than anything else in this world, if it exists. If right. So would it not be prudent for you, my brother, to at least ensure for your own safeguarding of your own self and your potential eternal life, that you assess these claims using an open heart and an open mind, and go wherever the evidence takes you. Is that not a reasonable thing to do? So what we would say to you, brother, is engage off camera if you want to. Of
course.
Let's provide the evidence to you. I would say to you, read the book by Hamza Zorsis.
No, I'd say I'll read the book.
The Divine Reality. You can watch it on YouTube or hear it on YouTube. It's about 12 parts, I can't remember. It's called the Divine Reality. And I would say just look at those arguments. They're quite profound.
No, I just need the arguments to be able to argue back.
And then look at the Quran and look, assess it for yourself.
Yes, yeah. No,
Don't make up your mind before you've even done that.
Yeah.
That's what I would say to you.
No, I agree.
It started raining. I think it's time to queue.
I think so. Yes. But thank you so much.
It was a pleasure
It was
to
a
really
pleasure
talk to you.
to have our
Our
discussion.
email address is efdawah.com.
Yes.
.com.
No problem.
Okay.
What is it?
The YouTube channel is also EF Dawah. Brother Mansur's got a channel called Dawah Wise as well, and I think your email is dawahwise
at gmail.com.
Dawah Wise.
Can you see that symbol down his hat? Can you see that symbol down his hat?
Ah, yes.
This is Wise. So it's Dawah as in DAWAH, Wise.
Okay.
At gmail.com. Dawah Wise is YouTube.
Okay. But I'll come back here next week on next Sunday.
Take your time. Don't rush it.
Exactly. No, but I'll be doing this along with my studies, and I'll take evidence, and I want to continue this.
Just before Imran wants to say something.
Yep.
I just want to say the historical studies that have been done today is mainly done with a secular, that's exactly what I was saying. Mindset, secular paradigm in which the basic assumption is there is no supernatural, there is no God.
Exactly.
So the study will always have this understanding that this happened naturally. There is no God involved.
Grounded in humanity.
God's not involved. So based on that, they will teach you, and you will be unraveling and unearthing all these things. But that's the weakness of this method.
No, I agree. To be properly,
automatically have rejected from the very foundation any possibility of a divine or supernatural.
And the other thing, I'm going to make that point. But the second thing is that it's a common tendency to superimpose Western experiences with religion onto the rest of the religion as well, and they don't correlate.
I agree.
So the Eastern experience of religion in terms of science and progression
it's very
is completely the opposite. We never had the Inquisition. We never had any of these things. So just bear that in mind.
But this is my point: is that actually my contention with religion is more so with Christianity than it is with Islam.
I can get that.
You know, it's more so with that because I actually, where I began to be an atheist was not through looking at Islam, it was through looking at the Bible and looking through the Christianity.
We would agree with many of our observations about Christianity.
Yeah, but this is where my,
this is where throw the baby with the bathwater. Exactly. That's the approach we should
I agree. No, to be able to have a proper coherent argument, my friend.
Very intelligent and smart man. Yeah.
As all of you are, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you. I'll be back. Oh, yes. No problem. No worries. No, just, yeah. Sure.